fairly steep, very rutted, very rocky.
When in Rome.
Tortellinis in a bag. Well, I took a nap.
That was nutty. Good morning, everyone. We are currently in our little atrium foyer area in Finale, Liguria, Italy. As you can tell, we have filled it up with stuff. I'm Sid. Mackie's over there putting on his shoes. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are practicing for the final round of the Enduro World Series in Finale, Liguria, Italy. If you're new, make sure you subscribe so you catch our race video at the end of the week. And now it's time to get going.
Hook your seat on your shoulder, Mackie. It works really well.
All right, we made it to our shuttle. It is right there. With a little bit of confusion because apparently we needed to pay in cash, which we weren't told beforehand. We only have a credit card, so we're gonna like meet up with them afterwards and pay. And we did all of this in the like
3 words.
Three words of Italian, and the fact that he called someone who spoke some English, and therefore I was able to talk to them, and then they were able to explain it to. Yeah, it was all very confusing, but I think we're good at this point, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. We should definitely learn to speak Italian. Which means the dog drinks water. We seem to be stuck behind this moped right here. She's going like, I don't know, 10 miles an hour. But the road's too narrow to get by her. This is funny. Oh, here we go. Going for the pass. Our driver seems to have just ditched us somewhere. And we're following the other guys on the shuttle who speak Italian, who seem to know where they're going. But we haven't yet seen any signs or tape or anything like that, so hopefully we're still going the right way. This way. I recognize it. Made it up here to the top. The ocean over there. And over there. And over there. So basically ocean everywhere. And this is the first stage. This is one that's been raced, I think, every year. So I have raced it before. We've ridden it before. It's pretty cool.
Your name?
Macky?
Okay, you can go.
That's it. We'll see you down there, Gussie. Well, I would say this trail, DH Men, is just about how I remember it. Fairly steep, very rutted, very rocky, very awkward. I will admit my 7 staples in my arm did not feel that great. I was able to ride everything and I didn't feel unsafe. but it was definitely uncomfortable. So I'm gonna finish pre-riding today, see how things go, and then make the decision whether or not I'm gonna race. Because like, it's an EWS, which is awesome, but I've raced quite a few of these. And it's the end of the season, and like, I don't have a ranking, and I don't really have anything to prove. So if it's safer and less risky to not race, that's just what I'm gonna do. I'll be support crew for Sid and our friend Gus. But if it feels okay on these next couple and I'm feeling pretty good, then I'll race. But I don't wanna go into the off season like seriously injured and not able to like train, because we've got some fun off season stuff coming up. Yeah, Gustafer. Yeah, he looks good. So I didn't really go back and look at anything on this trail. I have raced it twice now and always had at least one pre-ride lap. So that's like, this is my at least 5th time down it. So I felt like I knew stuff. I mean, there are a couple places where it's like line choice, but when you're at race speed, you sort of just end up where you end up, and it's just like controlling it and trying to be smooth and using the rip row pumping movement. So especially with my arm hurting, I decided it wasn't worth redoing any sections. But I think Sid's back there checking out some of the drops and some of the jumps, and then we'll hopefully catch her here as she goes by. So Sid decided to go back up and redo a section here, which actually made me realize that this alternate line here is a much better alternate line. I'm pretty sure it's not what I rode. So I have to figure out how to remember that here, where it splits, to go to the right. Yeah, that guy got it. As you guys can see, this stuff is pretty crazy and gnarly. I remembered it being rocky and rutted. I'd forgotten specifically how rocky and rutted it is, but it is very rocky and rutted.
I think this is worse than we did before.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I think every year it just gets worse because more water runs down it. It's chaos up here. People are like blowing through the tape and crashing, and let's see how this guy does on this corner. This corner seems to be getting people. Oh yeah, that was good. And then they go down into this. All right, pretty good, nice. Sid's gone way up there to ride this section again, so we'll see how she does. Yeah. Okay, if I decide to race, I have to try to remember this spot to go to the right. Which pretty much nobody's doing because nobody's really looking, but it sets you up a lot better for this next corner here. I have a funny, sort of painful story for you guys. The last time I raced this race, I crashed right here. I'm not exactly sure how. I can't even remember, but I crashed here and then like got up and ran my bicycle through the finish line over here. And I'll try to find the picture, but there's a really funny picture of me like running through the finish line with my bike. We got out of the stage and got down here, and we have no shuttle. So we like wandered around a bit, couldn't find anybody, and then finally another one of the shuttle drivers who speaks English, which is awesome, called our shuttle driver because they all know each other, and I haven't quite figured out where he is, but apparently he's going to be here in 10 minutes. So we're good. We were a little bit worried that our shuttle had just ditched us and that we were going to have to pedal the rest, which really would have been a bummer. Gus and I were also just discussing how that trail that we just did, DH Men, is extra hard because they've like taped it so that I think they're trying to keep us out of the worst of the ruts, or maybe they're just trying to slow it down. But the taping makes it way harder because you have to like go from one side to the other side, back to the first side, instead of just straight down it. But I figure if they just let everyone go straight down it, everyone would get going way too fast, blow themselves up, and then there'd be serious injuries, which, as is, I think they're worried about injuries on this one because it tends to get pretty rowdy.
Luckily, I had crumbs on my face. Luckily, we decided to put new tires on because that was nutty.
It was really loose.
And I was like on my brakes the entire time, which was super sketchy because trying to like slide out constantly. But then every time I let off the brakes, I got like ping-ponged. Anyway, so we're here waiting for the shuttle, realizing that we really need to speak Italian. We think because we walked up and did that section again, the shuttle left, but is now coming back for us.
That's all we can figure.
Luckily, there was a guy who saw how lost we look and spoke English and called our shuttle driver. Apparently, he'll be here in 10 minutes. And luckily, we're not the only one. Someone else is missing too, though we can't find him. So, basically, about what you expect for shuttling in foreign countries where you don't know what you're doing. You get what you deserve.
All right, I did brand new Martello on the front. It's looking all nice. And a Moto on the rear. And Sid did the same thing. Martello on the front. Moto on the rear. With airliners front and rear for both of us because, yeah, this trail, this stuff is pretty rocky, pretty hard on tires and wheels. So a little extra protection is definitely what we wanted. We're saved. Let's see where he goes. Looks like Moab. What you eating there?
Tortellini.
You guys at the bottom.
We might be a second, guys.
Alright.
We might eat, but
You're fully embracing being in Italy.
when in Rome,
Tortellinis in a bag. I like it.
it's really good.
I'm eating fresh mozzarella and sausage sandwiches. Yum. So today, based on how our practice times worked, we started off with stage 4, that was DH Men. Now we are at stage 1, and then we ride 1, 2, 3 in order. So I think it should be pretty fun. It looks like it's going to be awkward and rocky. I would say that very much lived up to my predictions. Awkward, rocky, kind of pedally. It was really fun. This is,
I'm gonna keep going.
yep. This is sort of what I remember of Finale. It's trails like this where they're just like rocky, like weird. You have to like snake through stuff. So, yeah, I'm digging it.
Pull down.
How you doing?
We made it to stage 3. No, stage 2.
Our third
Stage 2, but our third stage. And there are about 100 million bicycles.
Unfortunately, it sounds like someone got hurt, and they just had a helicopter in.
Yeah, which is no good.
Helicoptered them out, and
Yeah.
so everyone's still here. So we're gonna wait for a while.
Yeah,
'cause
so course hold, solid
no
course
point
hold.
being in this whole group.
Yeah, no, the A group still haven't dropped, so we're gonna let them drop, and then the B's will start dropping. So I think it's snack time. All right, we just started hearing people drop again. So there's a lot of bikes up here. People keep yelling, dropping, and you hear skidding noises like they're sliding down rocks. So I think the start of the stage might be kind of interesting. How long you guys been chilling here?
Long time, dude.
Oh man. Yeah, it's a little bit of chaos. Wow, this is a cool looking trail. And then it gets exciting down there, it looks like. It's like having all the spectators during the race, except nobody's cheering. It's pretty funny. There's like an entire line of people. Well, I took a nap because I really didn't want to stand in the sun for an hour. And everybody else went, and it actually went surprisingly fast. So, time to go check it out. All right.
Happy trail. Happy trail.
Thank you. Hey, nice.
Ce l'ho fatta. L'abbiamo scritto dappertutto. Vai.
Bye bye. Ciao ciao. Yeah, nice. Oh shoot. So this trail, yeah, not screwing around. After that first thing, here you go, high line.
I got scared.
Yeah. I think if you just, yeah, I mean, you nailed the beginning perfect. You just stay high and kind of go over that rock in the middle and you'll roll on through.
Over the rock?
I would go over the rock. It rolls on the backside. Yeah, nice. All right, let's see if I can do it now. so far, that is, I would say, the gnarliest stage. I think it's gnarlier than DH Men, the last stage that we did first.
Oh, significantly.
Sid votes significantly.
DH Men might be like more dangerous because you're carrying more speed and like have to hold it together for longer. But that was more technical.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was the first stage we've had really at either of these races that have had like multiple things where you need to like check your lines and go back up and try them again. So that's really...
Also, we started it on the super positive note of someone being life flighted up the mountain.
You're gonna have to say that again.
And we started it on a super positive note of someone getting life flighted off the mountain.
Yeah, that's always what you
It's always
want.
a good confidence boost.
Yep.
Hopefully they're okay.
Yeah, I hope they're okay
That was
too.
all an overreaction.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, you know, if you guys watched our last pre-ride video, we pretty much just rode through everything. And that was because there wasn't really a whole lot to rerun. Like, it was just kind of like get an idea of the flow of the trail, try to get an idea of how long it is, and that's it. This stage was actually like, okay, you do not want to go that way, you do want to go this way. Try to find some landmarks before it so that you remember where to go, and then practice hitting the lines the way you want. So this next stage is stage 3. We have not seen it, and who knows what it'll look like, because that first one was pretty straight here. DH Men, stage 4, pretty straightforward. Stage 1,
Sneaky, but not...
sneaky but straightforward. Stage 2.
I would not call stage 1 stage forward, but it wasn't technical either.
Yeah, it wasn't technical like that.
It was like
Stage
sneaky
2,
shit.
definitely the most technical so far. And we will see about 3.
I smacked my leg pretty good.
Yeah,
It
where?
was kind of a nothing crash. Like, I made it through the sketchy chute part and then like didn't, like blew the corner because I was scared. Probably on my brakes too much.
Probably.
But it would have been fine except there was like one poker that got me like right here and now it's trying to seize up on me.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Don't let it seize. We only have the last climb and then a 7-mile beach road pedal.
Which that'll be feel good probably.
Yeah, probably. How about for descending?
It was bad right away, but then by the end it was okay.
Okay.
Like the first little section after that, it was like shit.
Yeah. Oops.
And like feeling like it was instantly gonna cramp. Now it just hurts.
Okay.
But hurting is better than cramping.
Yeah.
Because you can control it.
I've mentioned this in the last couple videos, but want to mention it again in this one. There have been some comments about the fact that one of the Rilo's audio quality is way lower. That is because we are using the adventure case to protect the lenses, because otherwise a crash will basically destroy the lens and then the Rilo's not usable. So we're working on a solution. When we get back to the States, we're gonna work with Rilo to try to come up with a way to protect the lens but not block the microphone. But until then, we're just gonna keep using it because even with lousy audio, it's more important to us to have video for you guys than just not be able to have video. So that's what's going on there. We know, we're working on it, that's all. Well, I always get bummed when you drop a lot of altitude on a transition because you're like, man, we could have dropped that in the race stage. But in this case, it looks like that was the only way to get us over to this other trail, so I can accept it. Plus the view here, not bad at all. And pretty soon we get to go all the way down to there and then pedal all along the coast for a couple miles back to the apartment. So last stage coming up. You can tell it's been a very dusty, long day when your bike sounds like this. Poor bicycle. All right, last stage of the day, technically stage 3. We are going off that and down that ridge line like that, and then ending up at the ocean. It's gonna be epic.
So we both ran out of water before the top of that last stage, so we pedaled frantically to get to somewhere where we could get some water, and then we ended up getting a croissant and pizza as well. Because this place is super cute. And I feel a lot better now that it's in cold water, and that last stage was super fun. I think that was my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Except for the little uphill that I'm going to have to run up. But I think a lot of people are going to be running up that, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Now that I did all 4 of the stages with my arm wrapped up, I'm at the moment leaning towards yes racing, because while it was kind of painful, especially on some of the transitions, when I was racing it wasn't distractingly painful. And like I didn't have any problems with braking or like holding onto the bars. So from a safety standpoint, I think I'm okay to race. I just have to decide if like it makes sense to, because crashing on this again would be very painful. And I don't have anything to prove. I don't have a ranking in EWS that I'm like trying to protect or anything like that. So I'm not 100%, but at this point I'm definitely leaning towards racing this weekend. Supposedly they have burritos here. Sid and I are discussing whether, as a cross-cultural experiment, we should get a burrito to see what a burrito looks like in Italy. But Sid's argument, which is a very valid one, is that we have limited stomach space over the next 3 days, and we pretty much need to fill that with gelato and mozzarella. So I see her point, so maybe we'll skip the burrito this time.